ready. You're going to have to take the shirt off because we're not going to be able to ask you about your mohawk if you ain't got a mohawk. You can say, ask me what happened to my mohawk. I know a guy that can make a shirt. It's going to be okay. All right. So again, we're raising money for Western North Carolina. This young man here in the pink hat, pink hair, promised us if we got to $2,000, we could shave this mohawk. So guess what? We got to $2,000 already. We're going to knock the mohawk off his head. But we ain't going to stop. If we get to $2,500, we're going to take the beard and everything. Is that right? We get to $3,000, we're going to get Brothers mohawk too. So, to start our day off properly, we even brought his hairdresser in. Because he didn't want me butchering his head up. Folks, this is Jeremy Tyndall. He's, him and his wife Cheryl are Mr. and Mrs. Everything to us here at United Pullers. He's raised a ton of money for breast cancer over the years. That's why the mohawk is pink to start with. But this weekend, we know our friends in Western North Carolina need a little bit of extra help, a little bit of uplifting. And we are going to be sure to let them know that we will not forget about them. So before we get started, if you folks don't mind, we're going to knock the mohawk off his head for the folks in Western North Carolina. I got you. Are we live? Okay. Do I need to press anything? Folks, give it up for Jeremy Tyndall. Give it up this haircut for Western North Carolina. Again, Jeremy and his wife Cheryl, man, they make it happen, especially here at the state fair. He parks all of us out there. He uses about 2 acres to do 22 acres worth of stuff. Oh, we got an extra. I knew if the pullers heard about this, it would be all over. I'm ready, brother. Do I need to press the red button, huh? All right, let's go. Let's go. It'll grow back. That's the good news. 2,000 so far, and we ain't stopping. We get to 2,500, we get the beard, maybe even the eyebrows. We get to 3,000, we're getting Brothers a mohawk too. So anything you folks can do will be a big help. At least he still got his. We got that going for us. Yes, sir. Yeah. She's like, I don't need no drop board. Don't worry about the power. I got that covered. We get at 2,500, we get the beard. 2,500, we get the beard. I hope that pink stuff don't get on the track. Somebody will say that's a disadvantage. 4,000, we do the chest hair. You look kind of cute without no hair there, Duval. We appreciate you doing this, man. Western North Carolina, thank you. The fine people that have been here all weekend, man, you guys have been wonderful.
Well, she said we're going to make it look kind of pretty for you.
I don't know what happened all here
in the front, man, but it seems to be disappearing.
It happens with age. So $2,000 so far under our friends, Leon Nixon and the catering company. We're going to feed you guys and serve you guys out west. And we're not going to give up. We're where? 2,300 now? Heck yeah, boy. That beer's coming off of there. We're at 2,300 already, and we ain't even got started good. Oh, yeah, 2,308. Yes, sir, boy. Yes, sir. $2,300 so far. $200 away from shaving that beard.
Come on.
Yep. $700 away from cutting another mohawk off today. And we're coming. Western North Carolina, we are coming. We don't have to ask no questions. We ain't got to fill out no paperwork. We ain't going to wait on no government official to tell us we can do something. We are coming to help you all, and we will not forget you until everything is rebuilt just like you need it. Look, here we go. Here we go. I think we can go ahead and take the beard off.
Is that it? Is that all?
Yep, that's going to do it right there, son. That's going to do it right there.
Take the eyebrows too.
The eyebrows, the beard, we're going to take it all. Where's brother at? We might as well get him on down here. We ain't but 500 away. We're 500 away from doing 2 mohawks. We already getting a head and a beard. Look back there. I told you them pullers would come over here when they heard that. Here they come. Look, here they come. Come on, brother, bring that other mohawk up here. Western North Carolina, we're coming. We are coming, and we're coming strong. We ain't gonna quit. We ain't gonna stop. That's from Russell Mullen. Put a bag on his head. We got this. I hope you don't put this video up because it's gonna be all over the place. Somebody hold this. I got stuff to do. Here, he wants to record this thing. Here, honey, here's for your jar. Thank you, United Pullers. Thank you all. Here comes brother. There comes the other mohawk right there. There it comes. We got 3,000. I don't know what we'll do, but we're going to keep raising money, but we'll do something. We will do something. All right, y'all keep trimming. Y'all keep trimming. We're going to go to work out here. We got some kind of tractor pull to put on. Good evening, good afternoon, Raleigh, North Carolina. Y'all can do better than that. Good afternoon, Raleigh, North Carolina. There we go. Welcome to the North Carolina State Fair, the Southern Showdown, day number 3, pull number 4. We got diesel smoke, we got alcohol burners, we got superchargers, we got 4-wheel drive trucks. We got a little bit of everything for you here this afternoon. It's going to be one heck of a show to wind up 2024. We are proud to represent the National Tractor Pullers Association. We are the United Pullers of the Carolinas, and you see our colors coming to the center of the track, brought to you by the Junior ROTC from Person High School in Roxborough, North Carolina. Let them hear you. We've got Jackson Bates, Gracie Brooks, Connor Davis, and Kyra Brandon, again, showing us the flag of the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. If I could get you all to please rise. And gentlemen, remove your hats. If you are able to rise, please do so as we give thanks to our God alone. And he looks so good. Give me just a minute. Our Father, we thank you. We thank you for the support. We thank you for the guidance. We thank you for the love that you show us, unending, regardless of how we don't always show it. We do appreciate you. We ask that you please guide and protect each and every person on the grounds this afternoon, every spectator, every competitor, every official. Please wrap your angel wings around them and protect them. As we head home this afternoon, we go in separate directions. Please protect us, guide us, and direct us, and we hope whatever we do, we hope it brings honor and glory to your name, because all God's people said, amen. If you will, please remain standing. We're going to do the national anthem, Mr. Kendall Beasley, whom you will see on a tractor here in a little bit. Kendall, take it away, buddy. tractor burning some coal here in just a few minutes. We got half a beer left to take off and a whole other mohawk.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Full Pull Live. My name is Dan Mayer. I will be your host this afternoon. We are here at the North Carolina State Fair in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm going to be joined momentarily by Bert Forbes, trackside. He's going to be our trackside announcer as we are getting ready here for session number 4 here at the North Carolina State Fair. This is a big Region 4 event sanctioned by the National Tractor Pullers Association up there just outside of Columbus, Ohio. Follow all their technical and safety rules. So we will crown some more champions here this afternoon as we get ready to run this show here today. So as we take a look at our lineup here, we'll have our Super Stock class will be the first class of the afternoon. They will be followed by the Super Farm tractors. We'll have the modified tractors. Then we will roll into the four-wheel drive trucks, and we will conclude the afternoon with our Pro Farm tractors, a class very popular down here, as with the state member group here that runs with the NTPA, which is the United Pullers of the Carolinas. So that is the host group down here for this great event. Long-time event here in Raleigh, North Carolina, the North Carolina State Fair. As you can see, our track situation out here. Now, years ago, they used to have a horse track that went all the way around this facility here, and they've kind of cut that horse track back, more or less made a motorsports arena here. So it's a little bit tight. The confines are a little bit tight, but I'll tell you, the action has been hot and heavy here all after weekend here, as we are into session number 4 here. As you see some of the competitors lined up and ready to go. Interesting here because they've got, the midway running right behind the pulling track here. The actual haulers for the pulling vehicles are about a half mile or so away from here. So kind of interesting how it's like orchestrated chaos to get everybody in the arena here, get them all scaled up. But they have been working on that the last couple hours here and are ready to go here as we get ready to hook our first tractor up here today.
What do we think today is going to happen, Jeffrey?
I don't know. We'll see here in a little bit. I think we're going to try a little different approach, but see if it works.
Craig, you're in good shape from the other night?
Well, we heard a motor. Scott Tedder had a spare, so Scott let us use his spares, so we're going to load her for bear and go again, see if we can put her out there 360 again.
Mr. Strickland, you got everything back together.
It's back together, but I'm not promising you it is right. But we are back together.
Awesome.
Hopefully we'll have a better look.
Our competitors down there, they're going to see run here this afternoon. Jeff Hirt, Craig Sage in the modified class, and then John Strickland also in the super stocks here this afternoon. So both Jeff Hirt and John Strickland are going to be getting strapped in and ready to go here this afternoon as we get the session number 4 underway here at the North Carolina State Fair. Now our track is lined out to 330 feet this afternoon. We've got the white lines each side of the track, approximately 40 feet wide here at the North Carolina State Fair. Those are our track requirements here as we take a look here as everybody getting ready to roll here. We should fire up our first tractor. We see Marvin Epperston with the NTPA on hand here this weekend. He's overseeing all the action here. And speaking of action, we are ready to roll here. Sunday afternoon, Raleigh, North Carolina, as we bring out the first of our super stock entries. Now, tractor truck pulling, a maximum weight rule, the owner motorsport, where weight is an advantage. We will bring out Dave Everman here, overruled out of Dansville, New York. Now, Dave's a second-generation puller. His dad, Henry, will be in this class a little bit later on. And by the luck of the draw, Dave has drawn that lucky or unlucky number 1 spot here this afternoon. Now, he will be the only one that will have the option to take or turn down his run here. Now, we give him that option simply because he hasn't seen anybody go down the track. Now, each and every puller will have 2 attempts to make a measurable distance if you don't get past that 100-foot mark. Now, if you make it past that 100-foot mark, kind of like jumping off a diving board, you get what you can get and hope that you get enough. So we're back in the overruled tractor here, Dansville, New York, just south of the Rochester area there in western New York. He's been a champion with the Empire State Pullers there in western New York. And his dad, a many-time champion, and actually Mom pulls too. We'll see Mom a little bit later on as well. She'll have a twin engine modified a little bit later on. So 8,000 pounds will be the maximum weight of these super stock tractors, allowed to run up to 4 turbochargers. We'll see cubic inches ranging anywhere from 540 up to 650 this afternoon. And they run those big 30.5 rear tires. Here we go. Alcohol-powered tractor to get us rolling here this afternoon. Oh, nice run right there for Dave Everman. Now, he was a winner 1 year ago, Saturday afternoon. He won the Saturday afternoon session in 2023 with this tractor. Now, yesterday afternoon, had a little bit of trouble with the tractor. They've been back there working on it, getting it ready to go here for today's session. And it looks like, yeah, he's going to take that run. 333 even. 333 even. A good way to start the afternoon session here. You see that front end come up, transfers that weight back to the rear wheels, and using all of that weight to his advantage out there. Look at the wrinkle on the tires as the overruled says, hey, that's enough for me this afternoon. So good way to start our afternoon session here in Raleigh, North Carolina, with a good run of 333 feet to get us started here. So Dave Everman lays down the first shot here as we see up next in our class going to be young Holt Strickland in the seat of the Galat number 2 tractor. This is an AGCO DT 225 as we just saw his dad John kind of walk his way past the camera down there as Dave Everman's got his helmet off as he heads off the track here after a good run of 333 feet to get us started here in our super stock class. And looks like we are good trackside, they tell us. So the officials have made that decision. They'll get together down there with the sled operator and decide whether or not that sled setting is good for this particular class. Don't have a whole lot of extra runoff room here at the end of the track here in Raleigh. So they want to make sure that they get these vehicles shut down in, a certain amount of time or space here because of the space limitations. So as you can see, some of the great fans, boy, we have had just absolutely perfect weather here all weekend, and the crowds have been great. Really get behind these pullers, so it's glad to have all those folks on hand here, as well as you folks here on Full Pull Live. And we have got some great pulling coming up here, not just this afternoon, but these next 3 weeks. So stay tuned. We'll tell you about those a little bit as the afternoon rolls around here, as Holt Strickland will make his way here to the starting line. Now, unfortunately, Holt had some issues yesterday, was not able to make a run with this tractor. They did have some clutch issues, so he was not able to make it out on the track. So they've been back there working on this tractor, getting the new clutch in it. And, well, they're hoping that things are good to go on this tractor. Both of their Galat tractors are going to run here this afternoon. The light tractor, which Dad John will be running, and then the Galat 2 that Holt will be behind the wheel. Now, most of this summer, as a matter of fact, all summer long, Holt has been running a mini modified tractor on the Grand National circuit. And unfortunately, just a couple weeks ago, they had some motor issues with the tractor and did not make it here to Raleigh. But he's behind the wheel, the big super stock here. We have seen Holt pilot, actually we saw him pilot Galat number 1, their second tractor, their heavy tractor that they had last year. And Holt picked up his first ever Grand National win with that tractor and ran it throughout the summer. But that tractor has gone across the pond, has been re-sheet metaled and now owned overseas. So the Galat team has just one heavy tractor and one light tractor in their stable along with the mini modified. So Holt Strickland coming to us out of Clinton, North Carolina, the tractor that goes by the name of Galat 2. Get a load of that. Mr. Earl Wells, the owner of that operation. So sled is spotted right down the middle of the track here. Let's see if he can beat that lead distance of 3:33 set by Dave Everman with Overruled. All right, Holt Strickland, nice run with the Galat 2 entry here as he got off to that left side just a little bit. You see that red marker down there. That is the lead distance marker, which signifies our lead distance in the class. Now in pulling, we measure to the front of the pulling sled. It's not actually the pulling vehicle. We measure to the front of that sled. And we'll use a laser here. Laser set up down trackside. So we see Holt Strickland looking around here after his pass here. And we'll take a look here on the replay. Real good run here for this tractor. As we mentioned, new clutch in it here for this afternoon show. 332.40. Just shy of taking over that number one spot here. So 332.40 will be the distance here for Holt Strickland. As he makes a nice pass here, as you can see. Really didn't get that front end up in the air like we saw Dave Everman. That's the whole idea. Want to get that front end up around 12 to 15 inches off the ground. You get a little bit too high, too low, it changes the angle of that chain that you're hooked up to, and it makes that sled just a little bit harder to pull. So there is the Kubota M8201 tractor. This was the tractor. If you were with us yesterday afternoon, you saw this tractor pick up the big win here in Raleigh in session number 2. This is Marty Harrell. This afternoon, Robbie Crutchfield, the builder of that engine, is going to be doing the driving, and you longtime fans may remember Robbie Crutchfield, the brutal force, Massey Ferguson. He ran for so many years down here in North Carolina, and is kind of, well, he's taken that engine building business and has quite a few of these competitors' engines in their vehicles. So Robbie has been tapped, the hired gun, if you would, to be the driver here of the Kubota this afternoon. Goes by the name of Pure Country, owned by Marty Harrell. So Robbie behind the wheel, and we will fire him up here. Coming, of course, that tractor they just put together here just not too awful long ago. And they've had some issues with the tractor, but yesterday it came to life. And if you were with us, you saw that tractor. He was way out there. I think it was about 344 or something he pulled yesterday. So, yeah, that was just a great run here for the Kubota tractor. Don't get to see too many Kubotas. That was the first one I've ever seen, and he put it in the winner's circle yesterday. So we've got a great class. Once again, fans, full pull live here from the North Carolina State Fair. We are very early in our program, just tractor number 3 out of the 8 we're going to see here in the super stock class. 8,000 pound super stock class. Alcohol and diesel tractors allowed in this class. Like we talked about, up to 4 turbochargers. They're cranking them about 4 to 4,500 horsepower. And we're going to, once again, welcome all those folks that are live on Facebook as well as YouTube. We're going to run a couple more vehicles, and then we're going to turn that free stream off, and you can join us on Full Pull Live at $39.99 a month subscription. As we talked about earlier, we've got 3 more fantastic pulling events coming up in the next 3 weeks here. Next weekend down in Texas, followed by the Diesels and Dark Orders event in Georgia, and then the big one out in California to finish out the 2024 pulling season. But right now we see Robbie Crutchfield backing in that good-looking Kubota M8201 tractor. Now, Marty Harrell for so many years had the Massey Ferguson sheet metal on the tractors that he has run, the Pure Countries. And the folks at Kubota had sent him the hood and said, hey, we would like to see this on a pulling tractor. So they sent him that M8201 hood, and he filled in the rest of the sheet metal there on the tractor. Beautiful, beautiful looking machine. And let's see if he can bump the flag here this afternoon. 3:33 and change is our lead distance. Dave Everman, our leader out of Dansville, New York. Take a look at the wheel speed of this tractor. Robbie Crutchfield. And there you go, Robbie Crutchfield coming right into your living room this afternoon. A head-on shot there. As you saw him cross-track, it started up on the left-hand side of the track, brought it down to the bottom side of the track here. And we will see if he has taken over that number 1 spot here. Robbie Crutchfield and that Pure Country ride. Just a gorgeous ride. You see Marty Harrell down there. He's got a big smile on his face. 2 nice passes here this weekend for his tractor as they'll lift the hood up and take a look at that plumbing. They've even got the Kubota orange on the plumbing work here of those big turbochargers. You see this setup right here, the 3 turbocharger setup. So popular in the super stock class, like we talked about. You're allowed to run up to 4 of them. As we'll take a look here on the replay. 3:36 and 57. We got a new leader. And we are in for a show here this afternoon with the super stocks, as Robbie Crutchfield will take over that number 1 spot here, cross-tracking it down to the right-hand side. We see NTPA photographer Tracy Waters getting all the shots down their track side, as he will park it into that number 1 spot. So Pure Country, Robbie Crutchfield, 3:36 and 57. We'll put Dave Everman, number 2, at 3:33 even with his overruled entry, as we will have now John Strickland coming to the sled here with the brand new Galot light machine. DT 225 sheet metal. There you see his son Holt. He just made a nice pass. He sits in that number 3 spot here. Now this tractor, once again, they had some issues with the turbocharger, one of the turbochargers on it yesterday, and say they didn't have enough work between the Galot 2 tractor. They had more work to do on this one. But John says, hey, I'm not going to guarantee anything, but we did get it fixed, so we're hoping that everything is good to go here on their brand new light super stock tractor. And if I remember correctly, this tractor debuted at the PRI show up in Indianapolis back in last December, as this tractor was on display, and boy, the people were just checking it out. And good to see tractor pulling vehicles up there at the PRI show. And it looks like our man on the spot, Bert Forbes, down there, he's going to try to get a word here with Robbie Crutchfield, our new leader here in the class, as it's a tight one right now at 3:36.57 for many-time Region 4 champion Robbie Crutchfield. But that was with his brutal force tractor, the Massey Ferguson, as he had 6 consecutive Region 4 championships, 7 overall in that Region 4 super stock class. So we see John Strickland making his way here to the starting line. Now this summer, when this tractor was run out on the Grand National Circuit, we saw Brent Payne do some driving, as well as John drove it a couple times out on the light Grand National Circuit for these light super stocks. Now the light tractors, they're limited to 505 cubic inches underneath the hood. They don't run the big cubes like we saw on the Galot number 2 tractor. And it looks like we've got our leader down there trackside with Bert. Take it away, Bert.
Robbie, that's the first solid, complete pass that you've made on this tractor. All that hard work is definitely paying off.
Yeah, we still probably have some bugs to work out, but it's a little better every time. Marty had a great pass yesterday, and all the hard work we put in, I kept bugging him. I'm going to drive it, and I don't thank them for letting me, because, Ashley Barnes is the reason we do this, and I've been able to, but it's getting a little better every time.
You think it's going to hold up?
Probably not, but they got to get a hold of the track. The track's coming apart, but it's still hooking them, so we'll see.
Well, let's go green. Let's see what happens.
All right, so Robbie Crutchfield, he says, I don't know. I don't think that run's going to hold up. We'll see. As John Strickland, Galot light tractor up here next. So 2 nice passes for the Galot tractors. Good to see him make runs here this afternoon. Don't want to see any competitor have any issues out there, but John lays down a nice one here. Kind of drifted off to the right-hand side just a little bit as he made his way down the track. Now, we heard Robbie Crutchfield talk about the track starting to come apart a little bit, he says, but there's still some traction out there. Of course, afternoon conditions. Mother Nature, you know, with the wind and the sun, that's, whoa, another one right at 330. 330.44, 330.44 for John Strickland here this afternoon. So right now our top four within 6 feet of each other. You don't see that very often with super stock class, so that's good to see here. Good competition here. As we're not done yet, as we're only halfway here through the super stock class. So there you can see Galat will park it in the number 4 spot there, 330.44, but they will take that. They will take that after the struggles they have had here getting that tractor down the track. So they'll put that in their memory banks and build that notebook for that new tractor. Has made limited passes here throughout the summer. And of course, the Galat Motorsports team, the Motorsports Park located in Benson, North Carolina. They host the big NTPA Grand National Pull each and every year, more or less the kickoff to the outdoor season, as they are down there usually about the end of May, early June of their event. It kind of depends. Sometimes it's early June, and then sometimes it's like the last week in May, early June. So you just have to pay attention. Check out ntpapull.com for their schedule when things start to get signed in for 2025. Hard to believe we're done here with 2024. Just sounded like we were down at Galat Motorsports Park to kick off the Grand National Circuit. Is there you can see on the starting line, fans, Mr. Excitement, Jeff Hirt out of Port Clinton, Ohio. He's been busy here this weekend, running his 2 mini modified tractors as well as a super stock. Now, yesterday had some issues with that super stock. Now, another V8. Now, we saw the Kubota tractor that was powered by a V8 Perkins engine. This one here is a 903 Cummins that Jeff Hirt has had so much success over the years. A 7-time champion with the Run and Bear tractor over the years. As he gets backed in here. So he had mentioned yesterday he was kind of looking around, playing around, looking at the gauges, didn't make the run he was looking for. So he says, look out for Sunday afternoon. So we are at that point as Jeff making sure he's lined up nice and square here. Now we saw John Strickland, he was more or less working off the middle to left side of the track, and now Jeff looks like he's going to put it right down the middle here. Now our leader in the class, Robbie Crutchfield with that Kubota, remember he started way on the left side and let it drift all the way down to that right side as he took the lead at 336.57. So session 4 competition here at the North Carolina State Fair. See, beautiful sunny day here, and the fans have packed the grandstands, and we're glad you fans watching here on Full Pull Live, bringing you all this great action. Make sure you do get your picks in too as well for the next class coming up on Full Pull Picks. But right now, Run and Bear, Mr. Excitement, Jeff Hirt. As the Run and Bear comes in your living room this afternoon, head-on shot there. Has drifted off to the right side, so could be a characteristic here with this track. Now, we talked to Bert Forbes, throughout the weekend. He said, a lot of the pullers had said, that is a characteristic with this track. Is no matter how many different times and ideas they have putting that track together, it kind of takes you one way or another there if you get too close to one side. As Jeff quickly gets off the tractor here. Kind of his MO. And we'll see here what the distance comes up here for Jeff. Boy, that tractor turning some RPM. That 903 Cummins just a singing here this afternoon. As he leaves the line, 315.11. 315.11 for Jeff Hirt. As that will put him in the number 5 spot here. 315.11 officially the distance. Now we can measure up to 1/1000th of a foot if we do have a tie situation, but right now we're just using that 100th mark. As you see the Run and Bear burning in there, those big 30.5 rear tires. As Robbie Crutchfield out front with the Pure Country Kubota, 336.57. as we take a look at the front of that forced decision tractor. This is going to be Henry Everman out of Dansville, New York. We saw his son David out a little bit earlier with the overruled tractor. That was our first tractor in the class, and he is currently sitting in that number 2 spot at 333 even here. Of course, the Everman family, they have been down here at the North Carolina State Fair, big supporters of this event for so many years. As we get to Jeff Hirt off the track, as his dad Bill pulls him off here, and there was a rumor we might have seen Bill behind the wheel of the Run and Bear this afternoon, but Jeff Hirt, little pop there after making his hard pass this afternoon. But going back to Bill Hirt, rumor that Bill might do some driving this afternoon, but they said no, the conditions weren't right. They weren't going to put Dad behind the wheel here, and would have been neat to see, but we'll have to wait for another time before we see Bill back behind the wheel. But good to see him on hand here this weekend. So we take a look into the eyes of Henry Everman, our next puller up here out of Dansville, New York. Got a big farming operation down there in the Genesee Valley, just south of Rochester, Dansville, New York. About 2,000 acres, corn and soybean that they farm down there. And of course, the Evermans, they love to pull tractors, that's for sure. At one time had as many as 4 pulling vehicles. Henry had a couple super stocks, had this alcohol powered tractor as well as a diesel tractor, and had sold the diesel tractor. He just said, you know, it just didn't have the time, and keep putting that tractor back together. They've had some issues with it, so he sold that tractor and sent it down the road. But this tractor here, interesting story behind it. This tractor was built up at the Blackburn Racing Engines operation up there in Shullsburg, Wisconsin. Now back in western New York, where Henry runs so often, was getting beat quite a bit by the alcohol tractors, and he said, you know what? They forced me to do it. They forced me to build a alcohol-powered super stock, and he had done so. Went up to Blackburn's and had this tractor built. Case International MX210, forced decision. Many championships for Henry in western New York as well as eastern New York with this tractor. Runs it both in the light and heavy classes when available. Now we saw in his run yesterday, the tractor drifted hard to the left side, had to hit the brake and get out of it before he was taken out of bounds with this tractor. So let's see what lane Henry's going to pick here this afternoon. The forced decision, Henry Everman out of Dansville, New York. So we have got just 3 left to go here. So far it's been an all diesel show. I promise you, we got a diesel back there. As looks like Chris Hale's going to be, I believe, our final hook in the class as we get ready to go. Henry Everman, a forced decision, 3:36.57. He's got to beat it. And a real good run for Henry. That tractor didn't drift off to the left side like we saw yesterday. Rather kind of violently, actually, as that front end was a little bit light on the nose and it kind of drifted real quick to that left side. But nice run down the left-hand sideline for Henry Everman here this afternoon. Is Andy Dutton with the junk wagon will be up next, and then of course we will fill out the class with Chris Hales, and another Outlaw International will be our final tractor of the super stock class here today as Henry shuts down the tractor. Good run of 3:14 and 70. 3:14 and 70. And we have seen here the last couple tractors. Now, our leader, Robbie Crutchfield, he did mention, he said the track is coming apart a little bit. And it might be a situation where the afternoon sun and that little bit of a breeze blowing on it kind of taking that track away here. So 3:14 and 70 officially the distance here for Henry Everman. As we see that front end come up, transfers that weight. Had the weight set just about perfect on that forced decision tractor. Now, just like his son David's tractor, that's 504 cubic inches. Doesn't run the big cubes. They are not allowed the big cubes in the state of New York with those pulling organizations. But nonetheless, good run for both the tractors this afternoon. Then they'll be well satisfied. They do have